This is more the way I recognize this poor chassis. Couple of shelves on top of it, using it as a tabletop. Anyway, to kind of cover briefly some of the things that accompany the chassis is a couple of HEI distributors with the caps, one missing a coil. The rear brakes and the emergency brake assembly pads are pretty good on this. And this came off the rear differential, rear end that's there. And some miscellaneous nuts and bolts and some lug nuts down there. Pretty much to finish off the rear end. And once more, this is the 378 gears. Right? Can't read them frontwards. So anyway, whatever. Anyway, there's that rear pumpkin center section. These are Corvair steering arms and tie rod ends. I had to change those out to find something long enough to match up to that Corvair, or to the Flaming River rack and pinion thing. The original alternator. It's a one wire. It's kind of neat. I believe it's the original. Might not be. Old ancient fuel pump that came with it. Hardware. Couldn't even tell you what, but it came out of that 85 Chevy. Alternator bracket, chromed, front timing cover bracket, chromed, air conditioner that wouldn't fit under the Model A, probably wouldn't fit under the Model A hood, but, and then a few parts that, again, came from that Chevrolet, brackets and braces, and I thought, who knows what I'll need when the time comes. Finally, for no particular reason, I collected lots of pulleys, and some fit Chevys and some don't. I kind of wanted to do with the chrome thing, so I did away with the serpentine belt that was on it. But anyway, there's a stack of various kinds of pulleys in there. Nothing particular, and that, I believe, concludes the fundamentals of the Model A chassis. Next will be other parts, steering, some steering columns, and other radiator parts like that. So, see you the next time. Next, radiator. This is a aftermarket radiator for a V8, brass and copper, and if you don't believe that, try and pick it up. It must weigh 35-40 pounds. It is a underhood inlet. The filler cap is on the inside. Single 1.25" radiator hose outlet, and then on the bottom, down there you can see that. And I'll turn it around in a minute. But it has an automatic transmission cooler in the bottom of the tank, lower tank. So now here's the original Model A shell, or grill shell, or whatever you want to call it. I noticed that the radiator is sitting on a 4-inch piece of aluminum to get the height that we need to show this. And, so it will sit right there. And then it'll look, it would work just perfectly fine. I think you'd have to solder some side mounts. They've taken those off so that it mounts to the shell, and of course it mounts to the firewall as well. So, and something to mount it down at the bottom on the frame. I think they've taken all that off. I bought it from a guy that had it on a tea bucket, and decided to do something else with the radiator front end of the thing. So anyway, let's see. I'm going to flip this thing around. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Did that with one hand. Shows that my strength is still good. So there are the oil inlets, outlet, at the bottom of the oil of the water tank, and yeah, a little. But you can tell by the color; those are copper fins, and yeah, that's brass. This is probably brass. Anyway, it's got a pressure cap on it, so I mean it's a totally modern radiator for a street rod. Good deal. A few more chassis parts that come with the Model A. This is the Cadillac Eldorado steering column. It is a telescopic and tilt steering column. Kind of neat. The Cadillac emblem is on the front, or is on the steering wheel. I'm not going to show it to you, but trust me, it's there. And I do not have a key for it. This little U-joint business here came off of the Eldorado with, so you've got another 2.5 feet of extension to get down to the actual steering device. Next to it is a tilt mid-80s column shifter. I don't have a key, don't know what it came off of. Bought it at a swap meet for $25, and oh well, like the Cadillac one better, but God, is it big and heavy. Over here next is a rack and pinion. I believe it came off of a Mustang too, but if it didn't, it is the same as one, and I can't remember. I got it at Pick and Pull. Perfectly functional. I don't have any ends for it or anything like that. It does turn. If somebody wanted to put a Mustang 2 steering under and front suspension, sorry, that would be pretty easy to do with, at least you'd have the steering rack and pinion be ahead of that. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to show that is included with the everything is a pair of where we go. Sanderson cast iron headers. They were returned. They cracked. Were returned to the factory, and the factory re-welded them. And so they're kind of good as new in a way. At least functionally, they're good as new. The ram horns are a better choice, I think, but.